Peace. We back at it with another video, man. I'm gonna get right into it. It's your boy Zay, by the way. If you don't know, you can tell by the YouTube name. But we back at it. So look, man. This video I want to talk about. Damn, what was it? Oh, hold on. Got it. It's about stepping away and leveling up. So, and this kind of ties into my last video. I don't know if I'm gonna post this one before the 2023 video or after. It just depends on how this flows. But stepping away and leveling up. So, I've been doing this for the past 3 years, and it takes a level of detachment to even do this, because you're so used to being around your friends all the time, all the people you used to hanging out with, going out to these places, seeing these certain people, being in these familiar situations. But when you step away, you're breaking away from all these familiar positions and situations and faces you're used to being in and around. So off bat, you become uncomfortable because you're not used to this situation that you've put yourself in. But one of the first steps to being successful or growing in whatever field you're trying to grow in life is you have to be uncomfortable. You have to become uncomfortable, because if you just continue to be comfortable and you're not even where you're at, how do you ever expect to grow? Because you're comfortable in the position you're in, but you're not where you say you want to be. So what's going to force you to get to where you want to be if you're so comfortable all the time? You're okay with what you're at, but at the same time you're saying you're not, but nothing you're doing is putting you in an uncomfortable position. Discomfort is the only thing that breaks you out of this repeated cycle, because comfortability creates cycles for you to continue to loop in, but you keep saying, oh, I want to do this, but you keep going in the same cycle because it's familiar with you. You're comfortable with it. You know the outcomes of these situations that you're going to be in, because you're not challenging yourself into doing anything new or nothing like that. So when you step away, you're breaking this looped cycle. And the reason why I say it comes with a level of detachment, because me personally, a lot of people that I've kind of stepped away from, and they probably think I just stopped like rocking with them, or I just don't like them as a person. That's not the case at all. I have no love lost for no people I've stepped away from. And I said that clearly. I have no love lost for any people I've stepped away from. Friendships, relations, none of them, bro. But I just understood where I understood where I'm trying to head, where I'm trying to go in life, and my mission is bigger than just me. So, which is why it's so important to me. I'm on a cosmic mission. It's helping the universe, bro. It's not just about me. If I was just on this mission trying to just help myself, I wouldn't be on here making these YouTube videos. I'd just be keeping this knowledge to myself. But because it's bigger than just me, bro, it's bigger than just me. I find happiness in seeing and helping other people. Like, it's people that I've only been in business, like, I think 3 going on 4, or 2 going on 3, one of them. This business world, but these years go fast, bro. But my clothing brand is doing pretty decent, like, in terms of scaling it or whatnot. But it's no major name ringing throughout the streets yet. Come real soon though. But it's no major name yet. But even still, like, the people who know about my business, they rock with it so heavy. And I've had so many people come to me asking me, like, hey, how do I start this business? Or what's some tips on starting a business, or this and that. And it's just to show me that, even though I don't have the numbers that I want to have, people are seeing and appreciating how I'm going about setting it up. So, which is telling me I'm doing something right. Like, I just had a guy ask me today, how to start up his clothing business. And I like helping people, help them get to their best self. I'm kind of, in a sense, like a spiritual guide, and I'm just really now accepting that role and stepping into that role, these past few years, especially definitely this year, kind of last year, but definitely this year, you know. And when I think back on it, bro, I've been giving people advice since I was a teenager. Like, people been coming to me asking me for advice since I was in my teens, bro. The real talk. So it's just like, now I'm fully accepting that role because I understand that's one of my purposes here down in life, you know. And the thing is, we so caught up in thinking we only have one purpose. So a lot of times, a lot of people down here have multiple purposes in life. They have multiple missions, you know. They have multiple missions, especially depending on, see, the universe only gonna give you as much as you can handle. So if they know you're a type of soul that can handle these different missions, they're gonna give you multiple missions to fulfill, you know. So really, and back to the detachment part, like I was saying, you know, any person I stopped hanging around or stopped messing with, it was never out of hatred or animosity. You know, a situation probably went down that I didn't appreciate how it went down, but I never detached from them out of hatred or animosity. I just, at that time period, I understood, like, okay, I need to really just kind of go in my own bubble, own circle, and establish myself in a certain way without any, you know, attached energies to me. Then after these couple years, you know, if these people are, you know, are energies that I'm, you know, attracted to, or I can see myself around, or if they are on my frequency level, then, you know, I have no problem to come back around these people. But if my frequency and vibration is no longer on that level, I can't, you know, continue just to go along with it just because I was cool with them. Like, at some point, you really got to put yourself first, and you got to stop just going with the flow of things. And this comes, everything that loops back around to being uncomfortable. It wasn't hard detaching from certain people. Like, you've been hanging around people 3, 4, 5 years, sometimes longer than that, and you got to detach from them because they're not aligning with your higher, the version you're trying to get to. And it'd be tough, bro. It'd be tough. Like, the way I talk about detachment, I don't try to, but I'm kind of make it sound easy sometimes because I've been working on detachment for so long. But trust me, bro, it's not easy at all. It's not easy at all. Like, especially when I was in my beginning phase of understanding and practicing detachment. Like, bro, it hurt, bro, just to have to step away and let some people go, bro. It hurt, you know. And it may look like a person detaches from things easy because they've gotten to a certain level of detachment, but the early stages is not easy. Even sometimes in the later stages, depending on the people that person is detached from, or the situation that person is detaching from, it can still come down heavy on that person, you know. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is your growth. So if these things that you are detaching from is holding you back, then it's essential for you to make that choice. It's essential for you to make that choice. You gotta put self first, man. So if you detaching from certain things and certain people, is allowing you to you know, soar higher to newer heights, but by all means do that. Do that. And you don't have to go about it in an ugly way either. It's a way to step back and focus on yourself without bashing everybody, without disrespecting people. It's a way about going by that, you know. So, and like this ties in well to the 2023 video, because I was saying how important, and I'm gonna say it again, how important 2023 is. Like, words can't really explain how important this year coming up is. And this is not, like I said, this is not me in my head thinking this. I feel this. This is something that's been given to me. I'm not sure through what energy or what, you know, it's just something, you know, something that you just feel within. It's like, I gotta tell people this, bro, because I don't think people really understand it. I think people, cause a lot of times we get into the New Year cycle, like, oh, it's another year, it's another year. It's not just another year though. Right? It's not just another year. Truly, it's really not. But back to the stepping away and leveling up. 2022, like I said in the last video, or the video, like I said, I don't know which one to put first. But like I said in the 2023 video, 2022, I stepped away the most. Out of these past 3 years, I've kind of stepped back from things the most than I have in previous years. Just because I wanted to level up, just not even on the physical or things I'm creating. You know, I've done some nice things on the physical realm, but I really wanted to up my mindset and my spiritual growth. You know what I'm saying? I really wanted to grow in all these different aspects. You feel me? And it was you get a lot of tests. You get a lot of tests, man. And my belief in myself and what I was doing got tested a lot. Cause I give you a story. So I was working a job, I want to say about 4 or 5 months ago. I'm not gonna tell you where, or you know, I'm not gonna tell you all that. I was working a job a couple months ago, and I worked there for about a month. And you know, the first week I knew it's just like this job ain't for me, bro. Like, even my mom, you know, she knew when I was younger. She was like, yeah, you gonna have to figure out something because you just can't deal with jobs. And it's not that I have a problem with jobs. It's just there's certain environments that most of these jobs be having, and plus I'm a creator. So if I'm not using my creative side of my brain, I just feel like I'm a robot. I'm going in a cycle, and I just feel like, bro, why am I even doing this? So I worked there for about a month, and like I said, the first week I knew, I was like, man, this ain't for me. But the type of person I am, I'm like, nah, let me try to turn this into a positive. But some things just can't be turned into a positive. Some things you gotta detach from. So I'm working at this job. You know, I'm trying to really get in, trying to get better at it. I'm trying to, you know, do my thing there, because I'm the type of person I like to thrive and succeed at everything I put myself into. And I like challenges. I love challenges. So, and one that it was challenging, it became a problem when it was halting or hindering my spiritual growth. And it was halting my growth in what I was doing with my business. Because I would leave that job so mentally drained, physically drained, and spiritually drained, bro. I was just like, man, because it would be a different thing if it was a great work environment to work in, and it was just just kind of tough physical labor. I wouldn't have no problem with that, you know, as long as I'm still in good spirits. It's a good environment, cool. But I was being drained mentally, spiritually, and physically, bro. So when I would come home, like, I wasn't thinking about working on my business. I wasn't thinking about working on my spiritual growth. I wasn't thinking about trying to get up on my knowledge. The only days I was partially thinking about that was on my off days, and that was just even a little bit. You know, I would probably have 1 or 2 off days out the week. And the rest of them days I'm being drained. Like, literally, bro, it wasn't a day that I went in and came home that I didn't feel like, bro, I felt like a robot. Bro. And like I said, when you're a true creative who likes to create things, and you're not using your creative side, and most of your time is being spent not doing creative things. Because if I was working a job that allowed me to allowed me to use my creative side, I wasn't going to work doing the same thing, then I'd be different, because I'm activating and I'm using my gifts. But if I'm locking down my gifts just to fit in a societal construct, like, and don't get me wrong, I was making pretty decent paper weekly check, making pretty decent paper, bro. But it wasn't worth it to me. And that just comes down to that differentiates from person to person. Me personally, it wasn't worth it to me. I valued what I was building on my business. I valued my spiritual growth. I valued learning things more than I valued working there. And you know, not having that income, I took a hit, of course. When I stopped working there, I took a hit. And the thing of how I went down, how I left, I'll get into that. My last day I was there, I ran into the guy. I don't know if it's Marlon, because the two guys from World Envision. They got one of the top clothing brands in the country. There's two of them. The tall one is the shorter one. I had run into the taller one on the floor I had worked on. I'm not gonna say how I met him because it might kind of give away where I was working at. But I had met him, and he was leaving out. And I was like, "Hey man, you one of the guys from World Envision?" He's like, "Yeah man, you know." I was telling him like yeah, I got a clothing brand myself or whatnot. Mind you, this was the last day going into work. I already made my mind up that I was not coming back to this job. This is my last day there. I didn't make this decision after I met him. I had already made up this decision the night before. Actually, I think it was the night before. So yeah, we were just chopping it up, man. It was like, yeah, I got a smooth little clothing brand myself, and mine just, you know, the 2020 visions, World Envision. So we kind of had a similarity in it, you know. Gave me his phone. I put it in my business page. He followed the page from the World Envision page, you know. And just off that, I didn't need a picture with him. I didn't need no advice from him. Just seeing him on that day was all I needed to see. It was a spiritual message, in my opinion. And you know, that's how I took it. That's how I took it. It's just certain things that don't just happen just as a coincidence in life, bro. It's hard. It's just hard to say certain things are coincidences when they happen a certain way. It's just like, nah, that wasn't a coincidence. You know, just how it happened. Then I think that same day, I seen a grasshopper, and it was on the floor that I was working on. If you knew the building I was working on, you were under. I worked on a high floor, and it was a grasshopper on the window, and just for it to be that high up, it was interesting. But when I was working in the room, it was a grasshopper on the window, and I had looked at it. And I started looking up like the meanings of what it means to see a grasshopper, especially in a weird scenario like this. It means to take that leap. To take that leap of faith, bro. And I did. You know, right after, I think the day after or 2 days after I left the job, I started working on his office. I guarantee you, if I was working at that job still, this office that I'm in right now wouldn't be built. It wouldn't be built. I guarantee you that. Because like I tell you, when I was working at the job, I wasn't even happy there. I wasn't going home working on anything. So this office that I'm in right now wouldn't be built if I didn't detach from where I was at, where I was working at. Because yeah, I was getting money, but I was losing myself as I was getting the money. So I had to decide which is more important. I'd rather build something that, you know, not getting that instant return. And like I said, not getting that instant return of that money, you know, living in a capitalistic system, it kind of rough. But when you're building something that can lead you to wealth, you gotta be able to sacrifice that short-term gain and lock in on that long-term gain. So when I left the job, I was like, man, I'm not just gonna just leave this job and just not, you know, get right. Now I left the job and went right to work, like straight to work. I'm talking about looking up tiles, laid the floor. Man, everything in this office that you see, yeah. From if you follow me on Instagram, you see how you will know how the room looked beforehand. So like I said, if I was still at that job, I wouldn't have been able to get this done. So all in all, to give that whole story, just say this, man. Certain situations, certain people you have to detach from if you really want to level up. And leveling up doesn't always just revolve around money. It doesn't always revolve around that instant, short-term money gain that you're gonna get every week. You know, it helps. Don't get me wrong. It damn sure helps. Trust me, it's a great tool, especially when you're still in a capitalistic society. But sometimes when you have to make that decision between the one or the two, sometimes you're gonna have to choose that long term, especially when you know it's about to be that time. Like, you know, when you really trying to scale up whatever you're trying to do or trying to hit that next point, you're gonna have to take that short term sacrifice sometimes and work on that long term goal. You're gonna have to sacrifice that short term fun sometimes and work on that long term goal. But a lot of people like fun more than they want to get to their goals. People will talk about their goals, y'all. That's why talk is cheap, bro. You could talk a good game and I'll listen to you, I hear you out. I'm like, okay, that sound good. But your actions is what I'm paying attention to, bro. Every time. Because it's easy to talk a good game now, bro. It's easy to talk a good game. What are you doing? What is your action showing, bro? Especially with social media, it's easy for somebody to act like they got it all figured out. Oh, they doing this, they doing that. What are you really doing though? What do you have to show for it? If you don't, when I say something to show for it, it don't always have to be show up in the physical. Well, how are you moving though? You can tell off somebody's energy if they even are lining up with the things that they saying. Just off their energy. Just pay attention. Even if they ain't got nothing to show for it physically, you'll start to see, oh, that person don't be out as much no more. That person don't even be posting that much no more. That person don't be getting involved into the little petty arguments no more. Those are signs of somebody stepping away and leveling up. A person that's not into all this celebrity commotion and drama day to day, worrying about other people's lives, trying to vicariously live through them. I'm gonna make a video about that shortly. Those are signs of people who really trying to get to it on all levels, on all spectrums, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually. Because like we've seen many instances where people have been deemed successful on the physical level, but it's mentally and spiritually they're in turmoil. So therefore, when that physical validation kind of dies out, or they're not always around it 24/7, they have issues and they crash out a lot of times. Don't be that one that crash out. Be balanced on all levels. It's about balance. You can't have your physical up here and your spiritual mental down here. That's a terrible foundation. It has to be here. Like, what would a building look like if one side was like this, then one like this? The building is going to tip over. What you built up on top of that is going to tip over because it wasn't a solid foundation. Everything has to be leveled off. Then you continuously work these things up at the same time. You don't work one thing up and you just don't worry about the other two. They all come as a collective package. You know, so man, don't be scared to make those decisions in terms of detaching from certain things and people. Like I said, it was no love lost with a lot of people and situations. It's what I had to do at that time period, especially in 2020. I knew what I wanted to do. It was kind of more so at the end of 2020 and in 2021, I knew where I was trying to go with this. And it was just like, I can't continue to keep doing the same things and expecting different results. And if the people who you wanted to be around, but they wanted to continue to do the same things, it's just like, I mean, you know, I'll rock with you, but I just can't do it no more because where I'm trying to go, it won't allow me to reach that level or that frequency, continue to do these things. So I'm not even about to try to force y'all to change up what y'all doing. Like, y'all keep just doing y'all. Like, it's a realm of free will. So allow those people to do what they do, but you have to go do what you need to do to get to that level that you're trying to go to. Because some people that's doing what they're doing, some of them might be okay with the level that they're at. And it's nothing wrong with that. But you just gotta understand that's their journey. And you gotta go take your journey, man. And you gotta be okay with stepping away from the crowd sometimes. A lot of people scared to do that because they scared of what a person might say to them if they stop being around all the time. If you stop being in the mix, oh, this person don't hang with us no more, that person fake. That's what it is. Like I said in one of my previous videos, everybody a villain to somebody. So you might as well do what you do and move in a righteous manner be a genuine soul. But at the end of the day, do what you do. Because like I said, regardless of how genuine you move, how pure your intentions are, everybody gonna be a villain to somebody. You know, that's just what it is. So detach and level up, man. 2023 is around the corner. Never too late to start. All them situations you scared to detach from because you're so used to it. You got to make that decision. What's more important to you? Staying stuck in a loop or spreading your wings? Peace.